You've been fasting since Monday, Bisi. Today is Friday. When exactly am I allowed to be your husband? She sat up annoyed. Must everything be about sex to you, Sunday? We are in a spiritual battle, or don't you want children? They looked like the perfect couple until 5 years passed with no child. She turned to God and he turned to another woman. On the surface, everything sparkled. Two successful people, a lovely home in a serene estate, and the kind of love that others envied. But if the walls of their bedroom could talk, they would speak of a different story. This is not just a story about love. It's about pain, temptation, betrayal. You're about to witness the other side of love. Stay with me. Sunday sat alone on the edge of his bed that morning, his head buried in his hands. His phone vibrated. A message from his wife. Don't forget, today is our church mid-week vigil. Please, no distractions. He sighed. She doesn't even say good morning anymore. He muttered. It hadn't always been like this. When Sunday married Bisi 5 years ago, she was his everything, his lover, his best friend, his peace. They laughed at nothing, made love in every room, and dreamt about baby names over wine and suya. Those were the days when love felt easy, when Sunday would kiss her forehead and call her my answered prayer. And Bisi would smile like she believed it too. But time has a way of testing even the deepest love. And for them, it began with waiting and still no child. So after 5 years of no child, something changed. Bisi turned to God completely. I know God will do it, she often said, but in the process, she turned her back on Sunday emotionally and physically. One night, Sunday tried to touch her. She pulled away gently. I'm fasting, she whispered. He frowned. You've been fasting since Monday, Bisi. Today is Friday. When exactly am I allowed to be your husband? She sat up annoyed. Must everything be about sex to you, Sunday? We are in a spiritual battle, or don't you want children? Of course I do. But do I have to lose my wife to get them? Sunday said. Frustration filled his eyes. After that night, Bisi introduced a new agreement. No sex except once every 2 weeks, on weekends, or when she is in her ovulation period. So she told Sunday about the new plan. But Sunday disagreed. I'm doing this for our future, Bisi insisted. But Sunday felt like he was living with a roommate who called him dear without the warmth. Then came Amaka. She was Sunday's new receptionist, curvy, confident, always smiling. She had just resumed 2 months ago, a single mother trying to rebuild her life after fleeing an abusive relationship. Her eyes always seemed to understand, always stayed just long enough to ask, are you okay, sir? One evening, while working late at the office, the skies darkened and the rain came pouring down, relentless and loud against the windows. Amaka stepped in quietly, holding a steaming cup of coffee. Sir, you can't drive in this kind of weather, she said softly, her voice calm, almost caring. Sunday looked up, tired and thoughtful. He nodded slowly. You're right. I guess I'll wait it out. They sat. At first, the silence between them was filled only by the sound of the rain. Then came the conversation, easy, honest. They talked about life, regrets, broken dreams. Amaka opened up about her abusive ex and the scars she still carried. Sunday listened, really listened. Then he spoke about Bisi, about the love that used to fill his home, and how lately he felt like a stranger in his own marriage. Amaka watched him with quiet eyes. She understood. She had known what it meant to feel unseen. When the rain eased a little, Sunday stood up to leave. So he offered to drop Amaka off at her house. When they arrived, she insisted on showing her appreciation with a drink. Just one glass, sir, to say thank you, she said with a soft smile. He hesitated for a moment, then nodded and followed her inside. Inside, the air felt warmer. The conversation grew deeper. The drink flowed easily. One glass turned into 2, then 3. Laughter came. Not the shallow kind, but the kind that felt like release, like two lonely souls finally breathing. And in that blood moment of weakness, confusion, and longing, it happened. Desire overpowered restraint. Emotions drowned in the silence they both carried, and by the time the night surrendered to the early hours of morning, they woke up, tangled in bed sheets, lying side by side, naked. Sunday sat up slowly, his head pounding, not just from the alcohol but from the guilt that gnawed at his heart. He looked at Amaka, still asleep, her face peaceful, unaware of the storm raging inside him. What have I done? He whispered to himself. 5 years of marriage, 5 years of loyalty, and in one night of weakness, he had crossed a line he swore he never would. Amaka stared and opened her eyes. For a moment, they both just looked at each other. No words, just silence. I didn't mean for this to happen, Sunday said finally, his voice low and heavy. Amaka sat up, pulling the sheet over herself. Neither did I, she replied, but I don't regret it. I haven't felt wanted in a long time. Sunday turned away, the weight of her words deepening his conflict. He felt sane, yes, desired, alive, but also deeply ashamed. I have a wife, Amaka, he said, and you are my receptionist. A wife who has forgotten she has a husband. Amaka snapped softly. Let's not pretend we are the only ones at fault here. He stood up, picked his shirt off the floor and dressed in silence. This can't happen again, he said without turning back. Amaka nodded, but it already did. As Sunday stepped out into the quiet morning, the guilt didn't leave him. It followed like a shadow that would soon become impossible to hide. The house was quiet when Sunday returned. Bisi was in the kitchen humming a worship tune as she stirred a pot of soup. She didn't look up when he walked in. You are back late again, she said, still facing the pot. It rained heavily, Sunday replied, setting down his briefcase. I prayed for your safety, she added gently. The roads can be dangerous these days. Sunday stood there, silent, watching her. The woman he once loved with all his heart, still so devoted, yet so far away. The scent of her cooking should have made him feel at home, but he felt like a stranger in his own life. That night, as they lay in bed, backs turned away from each other, Sunday wanted to reach out, to talk, to confess, but fear held him back. Instead, he closed his eyes and let the silence cover the shame. Weeks later, the affair deepened. Days turned to weeks, and somehow one night became two, then more. The office became Sunday's escape. Amaka his silent comfort. She didn't judge. She didn't ask questions. She only gave him what he had missed at home. Conversation, intimacy. The affair continued with little things, quick glances, extended conversations. Then weekend meetups. It was wrong, Sunday knew it, but every time he returned home to Bisi and her all-night prayers, he felt more alone. So he decided to have a bit of fun. Amaka made him feel alive. She would say things like, you're a good man, Sunday. You deserve more than silence and cold shoulders. And slowly, he started believing it. It wasn't just fun anymore. It turned into something else. Maybe love? At work, their chemistry became harder to hide. Staff began to whisper, glances were exchanged. Rumors stirred, but Sunday ignored them all. Until one morning, Amaka showed up at his office, shaking, pale. Sunday, I'm pregnant. Sunday blinked. His heart dropped to his stomach. What? What did you just say? She inhaled deeply, as if gathering courage. I'm pregnant, and it's yours. Well, I thought it was until... She hesitated, her voice cracked. I'm sorry, Sunday. I didn't plan any of this, but I needed to tell you. I needed to be honest. I still want us. I want this baby to have a future with you. Maybe it's time you divorce your wife. We both know your marriage is already in pieces. Sunday looked at her like she was a stranger. Divorce, Bisi. That word hit him hard. He couldn't breathe. Yes, His Bisi had neglected him. He had been hurting, but he still loved Bisi, his wife, deeply. But still, the baby. I don't want to lose this child too. His voice was barely a whisper to himself. She reached for his hand, but he pulled away. He needed to think. 2 days later, another knock came, this time firm and impatient. Come in, Sunday said. The door burst open. It was Dele. Yes, that's Dele. Tall, rough, angry. Sunday, we need to talk now. Sunday frowned. What is this about? Dele didn't waste time. Amaka, the baby, it's mine. Sunday shot up from his seat. What are you saying? And who are you? Dele introduced himself as Amaka's ex. Then he tossed a DNA result on the table. I'm saying she played you, like she played me. The child she's carrying, it's mine. She only came to you because she thought you were an easier catch. A good man with a broken marriage, but I wasn't going to sit back this time and let her ruin another man's life. Sunday stared at the paper. The truth slapping him harder than any words could. It was all a lie. A twisted, painful lie. Sunday couldn't speak. The walls around him started closing in. He returned home that night, quiet. Bisi was preparing yam and vegetables. I made your favorite. You've been distant lately. He chuckled bitterly. You just noticed? She paused, confused. What's wrong? He looked at her. You turned me into a stranger in this house. All I ever wanted was us. But you've been chasing a child while our marriage crumbles. Tears wailed in Bisi's eyes. I thought I was doing the right thing. Sunday walked past her. You were, but you forgot I needed you too. Later that evening, Amaka called him, crying desperate. I didn't plan for any of this to happen. I just wanted someone to love me. I never thought he would show up and ruin everything. I mean, my ex, he showed up 2 months ago and I made a mistake. I didn't plan it, I swear. But I thought you deserved to know the truth. I am so sorry you got to find out this way. She ended the call. That night, Sunday stood on the balcony alone, staring into the city lights. Everything felt like a mess. His marriage, his affair, the baby that is not his. He whispered to himself, how did I even get here? Bisi found out the next day through whispers, tears, and finally a message from one of Sunday's colleagues. She said nothing at first. She cooked, she cleaned, she prayed. Then the next morning, as Sunday was brushing his teeth, she walked into the bathroom, expression calm but voice sharp. So it's true. Sunday froze. You cheated. He swallowed hard. Bisi, with your receptionist. He couldn't lie. Yes. She stepped back, tears already forming. All the fasting, all the prayers, and this is how you reward me? You abandoned me. Bisi, you turned me into a ghost in my own marriage, and you turned to another woman. Bisi answered. But I'm sorry. I really regret it. Please, Bisi, I'm so sorry. So Bisi didn't speak another word. That night, she packed her bags and left. Sunday was left alone, ashamed, empty and broken. He called her, sent messages, wrote letters, nothing. Weeks passed, then months. One Sunday afternoon, he sat in the living room, staring at their wedding photo, wondering how everything beautiful had turned so ugly. 3 months later, Sunday came home to find Bisi sitting in the room, her eyes tired but soft. I came to talk, she said. He nodded silently. I realized I wasn't blameless, she said gently. I gave my pain to God, but forgot to share it with my husband. I forgot we were supposed to carry this burden together. Tears welled up in Sunday's eyes. I never stopped loving you, Bisi. I just didn't know how to reach you anymore. I mean, everything changed about you. You don't give me your attention anymore. You just dress anyhow. I mean, that was not the Bisi I married. They sat in silence. That night, for the first time in a long while, they slept in each other's arms. No intimacy, just the warmth of forgiveness. They began counseling together. They talked, prayed, laughed. They learned to see each other not as broken people, but as people who had broken together and were now rebuilding. And then the miracle came. 2 lines on a test stick, a faint heartbeat on the scan. Bisi was pregnant. 9 months later, Bisi gave birth to a healthy baby boy. They named him Betrayal, praise God. Of course, Sunday was an Igbo man from Nigeria. Sunday held the baby in his arms, whispering softly, "Child, we almost lost everything, but love brought us back." What do you think about Sunday and Bisi's journey? Did they make the right choice by coming back together? Could this marriage have been saved earlier if both of them had simply talked? Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more heart-touching African stories. Until next time, stay strong, stay honest, and most importantly, stay loving. Bye.